The last word is a romantic weapon, a throwback to a simpler time when steady aim and large rounds were enough to dispense justice in the wilds of a lawless frontier. The story of it is inextricably linked to the guardians who wielded it, but also to another, a darkness that even now is spoken of in hushed whispers in the hidden corners of the tower. There was a child once, full of hope and despair, life and loss, living on the edge of the frontier. He was only a small boy when he first met the guardian Dregen Yor. The weapon that hung low upon Dren's waist looked pristine and lived in, like the cloak he wore that protected him from the dusty wind. The cannon was a relic, both trophy and warning to those who would cross him, and the guardian was certainly a dangerous man, but his light was pure, and his anger was something to truly be earned and not carelessly given away. The small boy, impatient as all small boys are, rushed to meet the man, mesmerized by the weapon at his hip. As the man bent down and offered the weapon to the boy picked up the cannon and could feel its weight. Not just the mass of wood and iron, which was weighty in itself, but the aftermath and repercussions from all the hard-won battles the man had fought. The man, known as Dregen Yor, a hunter, perhaps one of the greatest hunters in defense of the light and the traveler, would come to know the boy and become a sort of second father to him. He helped the boy grow up and claim his place in the world and defend the light, defend the innocent. He would also come to know another. While Dregen shone bright with a light and a weightlessness that few could hope to match, the other one would be the darkest shadow ever known. Dregen had gone out, tracking the fallen that had burned the town to ash, and in the absence of the town's protector, a visitor arrived. While Dregen was warm and light, holding your attention with the pureness of his being, the stranger, at first glance, seemed cold and solemn, a sad and broken man that seemed like he was looking for something, perhaps a piece of himself that was long lost. The boy would rush out to meet him, just as with Dregen, but the moment the man looked at him, looked through him, the boy's knees went weak, but that was only the beginning. The town had long since burned to ash, and the boy had grown into a man, strong and brave under the watchful eye of Yor and his companions. They were tracking something, or perhaps someone. The skiffs flew low in the sky, in the valley in front of them, putting everyone on edge, everyone except Yor. Yor never wavered, and it was his drive that had kept the group together, kept them focused on the task at hand, and without him there was nothing. In the depth of the night, nearly 10 days after their last sign of their quarry, gunfire rang out. First one shot, then another, and another. A familiar ring, one that they had heard so many times before. Dren's cannon, his last word. In reply, a single shot, dark and piercing, that seemed to cut through the night with silence. And then, nothing. While the identity of this special child has never been confirmed, speculation abounds that this is a story of renegade hunter Shin Malfur, that he found and claimed both Dren's ghost and weapon on his hunt to kill Dregen Yor. The showdown between the two at Dwindler's Ridge would have been one for the archives of the tower, even if Yor had not fallen so far from the light. Yor, the man who had slain so many, guardians and civilians alike, stood staring at Malfur, baiting him to attack, making small talk as he had done so many times before with the countless victims he had fed to that infernal weapon. Though he had never died and been reborn into the traveler's light, the gentle probing by Yor seemed to stoke the fire within the man. He could feel his anger merging with clarity and the need to find an end. In a single motion he drew the last word from its holster as the flame surged down his arm and raised the cannon. The weapon stood, embraced by the man's light, a shimmering gold in fitting contrast to the darkness in front of him. 2 shots. The bullets streaked as they flew, the same golden shimmer streaking through the air, and the other fell. Dregen Yor, the man who had caused so much pain and death throughout the system, lay dead on the ground. As the man walked up and pressed the still shimmering cannon against the dead man's helm, he thought of happier days and his fallen mentor. This was a poor tribute to Jaren, the hunter who had sacrificed so much for Shin to become the man he now was. A final shot rang out, and the last word paid a loud, final tribute to its original owner. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I want to give a shout out to American Squeaky for the suggestion, and to Diet Cola for the win, and Pyro Gaming for helping me out with that showdown. Be sure to leave a like below, it's always appreciated, and subscribe if you want to see more. Leave a comment below if you want to see your weapon featured in a future video. Take care.